How marketing research shapes billion-dollar decision lessons from Coca-Cola to Spotify. Did you know Coca-Cola once spent millions on market research, tested over 2 lakh people, and still created one of the biggest product flops in history? Yes, you heard it right. The year was 1985. Pepsi was eating into Coke's market share with its Pepsi Challenge blind test. Coke panicked. They ran one of the largest consumer research studies ever. Blind taste test across America, sophisticated data models, statistical validation, everything looked perfect on paper. And yet, when they launched New Coke, the public went ballistic. People hoarded old Coke, called company hotlines, and even protested on the streets within 79 days. Coca-Cola had to bring back the original formula. So how can research be so right on data but so wrong in reality? Hi, this is Nidhi Singh, and you're watching This is Digital Marketing, where we decode marketing with real world insights, data, and a bit of storytelling. Before we dive in, tell me in the comments which city you're watching this from and what's your role in marketing. Let's connect and steer a conversation. So let's rewind. In the early 1980s, Coke's market share had slipped from 60% to just 20%. Pepsi's marketing was sharper, younger, cooler. To fight back, Coca-Cola's research team, led by marketing VP Sergio, designed a massive project. Over 2 lakh people participated in blind taste tests. The numbers were crystal clear. Over 55% preferred the sweeter formula. Statistically, that's overwhelming evidence. Wouldn't you believe in this kind of evidence? They spent an estimated $4 million just on testing. That's roughly $12 million today. And months of data analysis, everything screamed success. But they made one fatal mistake. They measured taste preference without measuring brand emotion. They asked, do you like the taste? Not how would you feel if we replace the Coke you grew up with this drink that supports blind test. That emotional blind spot killed the project. Coke wasn't just a drink, it was American cultural icon. When consumers realized their Coke was being replaced, the reaction was visceral. Anger, nostalgia, betrayal. Within 3 months, Coke had to relaunch the original as Coca-Cola Classic. Ironically, the comeback campaign, born from failure, became one of the most successful brand turnarounds ever. Even today, when I talk about it, it gives me goosebumps. That's the power of marketing and market research. So what does this teach us about marketing research? It's not about how much data you have. It's about what questions you are asking. Data without empathy is dangerous. Let's pull back and understand what really goes into marketing research. At its core, marketing research is about systematically collecting and interpreting data to make better marketing decisions. But behind those fancy words is a lot of hard human work. Companies either do this in-house or hire specialized agency like Nielsen, Kantar, or Ipsos. Big consumer giants, think Unilever, Procter & Gamble, PepsiCo, have entire insights division. These teams include psychologists, statisticians, and ethnographers, behavioral scientists, and data analysts. The average global corporation spends between 0.5 to 2% of its total revenue on research insights. Sounds small? Well, not. Typically, marketing spend would be around somewhere 5%. For a $10 billion company, that's up to $200 million a year. Now, not all research look the same. There is qualitative research like focus group and interviews that explore why of the problem. There is quantitative research, surveys, panel experiments that measure how much. Then there is observational and behavioral research. The watch what people do, not what they say, school is prominent here. Modern marketers also rely heavily on digital analytics, search trends, social listenings, eye tracking, even neuromarketing sensors. And yes, costs vary widely. A basic survey study might cost from somewhere 3 to 5 lakhs in India. A large-scale multi-city qualitative plus quantitative study could run 50 lakhs or more. Add advanced modeling, segmentation, or neurometrics, and you are easily touching pro-level budgets. But when done right, the ROI is huge. According to SMR, the global market research industry crossed $80 billion in 2023 and continues to grow a 5% CAGR. Why? Because one right insight can steer billions in product decisions. Let's look at other examples of how research shaped marketing history. First case study is of Dove's Real Beauty campaign. In 2004, Unilever's internal study across 10 countries revealed that only 2% of women describe themselves as beautiful. That single data point changed everything. Dove shifted its communication from idealized beauty to real beauty. Instead of supermodels, they featured real women like you and I. All shapes and colors. Sales of Dove products reportedly grew $2.5 billion to over $4 billion within a few years. One insight, one reframe, and that's the power of empathetic research. Next, Spotify Wrapped. You know that personalized year-end recap everyone shares? That's marketing research turned into marketing magic. Spotify's team constantly tracks users' listening behavior, skips, replays, playlist ads, millions of micro data point. Wrapped is essentially a behavioral data storytelling campaign. They did not ask anyone a single survey question. They observed and then they turned that observation into celebration. That's next gen research, continuous, algorithmic, self-updating. Now let's bring it closer to home. Nescafe India. When Nescafe first introduced Nescafe decades ago, Indian consumers associate coffee with bitterness. We all are tea lovers in India, right? Market research revealed the perception barrier. They reformulated the blend for a mild taste and reframed coffee as aspirational, a symbol of modern youth and energy and progress. And that's why you see so many fancy cafes, because they have that cool value. Campaigns like It All Starts with a Nescafe were rooted in that insight. Today, Nescafe commands a majority share of the instant coffee market in India. Different methods, same foundation. Listening, not guessing. So how do companies actually listen? Let's break it down for you. The process down quickly. Step define 1. The problem you can't solve, what you haven't framed. Why are sales dropping? Is too vague. Are customers shifting from brand due to price, or perception is better? Step 2, design the research. What data will answer that? Surveys are experiments, social listening are experiments. Step 3, collecting data. Primary new data you generate, or secondary existing reports, government data, online reviews, etc. Step 4, analyze. Here is where statistics meet psychology. Look for patterns, outliers, and contradictions. Step 5, recommend and act. Insights are worthless if they don't lead to action. But like all tools, it has limits. Sometimes consumers can't articulate what they want until they see it. Henry Ford famously said, if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. So don't let research become a cage. Use it as a compass, not a GPS. All right, friends, that's all for this video. I am Nidhi Singh signing off from This is Digital Marketing. If you want to learn more about marketing and deeper topics, do give me a follow and do comment and let me know what else do you want to see on this channel. See you.